Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full review for this Moto Edge 20. And guys, this is the Edge 20 that comes with the Snapdragon 778. This is not the Fusion. Fusion is a different device altogether. And guys, I won't be dividing this video into the pros and cons. Don't worry, I will be mentioning all the cons also. But what I will do is I will just go one section by the other. So if a good thing is there about that in that area, I'll talk. So I divided this review in 11 different segments. The problem was that what I've noticed is because of the pros and cons, many people were just watching the cons, not the pros section. So it is out of context. If you just watch the cons, you don't get the whole picture. So that's why I'm trying out this new thing. So let's get on with this one. And I've used this almost for over a week. And guys, this is actually the retail unit that you will be buying from Flipkart. Hence the delay, guys. Many of you were annoyed by the delay. So anyways, let's talk about it. And again, guys, here are the specs. You know that this comes with the Snapdragon 778, comes with an AMOLED screen with 144 Hz, refresh rate, and other specs are here. We get only in one variant, guys. So no multiple variants for this one. Okay, and it is for about 30,000 via Flipkart. I'll leave the link if you guys want it in the description. So first thing is, let's talk about the screen, because this is an OLED screen that you're getting, and it's a very good OLED screen, guys. I have to say, what Motorola has done with this one is they have done an incredible job. The screen just pops, guys. This is the Realme this is the Realme GT Master Edition that also comes with this one. This also has an AMOLED screen, but this a screen of what Motorola has done, it just pops, guys. It's a 10-bit screen, hence even images and stuff, videos, what you watch when there is a lot of gradient stuff, this looks really good. So watching videos etc. was a very good experience. So full marks to Motorola regarding that. But now coming to the con of this one, if you notice, the screen is very vibrant, very fluid. Again, 144 Hz, that's what I like. Let's talk about the 144 Hz. And if you go over here in the display, and here if you go over here, there are two things that I wanted to highlight. One is this display refresh rate. With that update, now they have changed the auto. Earlier, auto used to restrict to 120 Hz, but now thanks to the auto is also going up to 144 Hz. You can also force it to 144 all the time. I would say no need, because the auto is working very well, and as you can see how smooth the UI and animations is. Very fluid. Okay, let me talk about now the con that I have with this one. And this is a minor con, but I notice it because I work with video a lot. And if you go to the colors, by default it will be unsaturated, so everything will look extra punchy and slight pinks will look like red. I was really annoyed with it, so I thought let's go to natural. But when we went to the natural, it was looking very pale in colors. So what I did is I went back to the saturated. It's still not super accurate and saturated, but I moved the color temperatures a little bit higher. Now it's a lot better. But by default, when you get if you are very picky about colors, I know I'm picky about colors because I work with video. Most of you will like the default mode, but again, you have to tweak it a little bit. But yes, the colors look oversaturated. Okay, next thing, what I really liked about this smartphone, and I think so, this has to be the lightest Android smartphone or any smartphone that comes with this big 6.7-inch screen. In fact, the weight of this one is just 163 grams. So very light, though it's having a big screen. I think so that's one of the biggest USP of this one. Even some of my relatives came, I gave them this phone. The first thing, they picked up the phone and they said, wow, this is really light. How is this so light? That was the first question. And I think so they get it because again, the back, if you noticed, this is not glass, guys. This is polycarbonate, but it's decent. Yes, it does get some fingerprints like this, but overall you get the case in the box and it is fine, I would say. But I like how light this smartphone is compared to most of the other smartphones. Even though many of the smartphones have a 6.4-inch screen, they are a lot heavier. This, in that area, I would say I was not expecting Motorola to do this. And also, this is a pretty slim phone. Another small thing that I noticed with this smartphone is, and this is nitpicking, guys, not a strict con. Yes, you have the fingerprint scanner over here and it's very responsive. You just touch it and it works very responsive. I would say Motorola has now finally nailed the fingerprint scanners, because in some of their earlier smartphones it used to be a little bit sluggish. So that's really nice. And I like the volume rocker is here, fine. But what I do not like is here you have this extra button, and yes, if you press this, you get the Google Assistant. Fine, I like that functionality there, but no way they have given a option inside to customize this one. They should have actually given, I would have loved if they would have allowed a customization of this button. Maybe they enable it with the OT update. Okay, next thing that I like, again this is the stock Android experience that you're getting on this device. No ads, no extra bloatware on anything, apart from some Motorola specific apps that are useful apps, I would say, for customization and gestures and stuff like that. So it's a pure Android experience, no ads whatsoever. I don't think so we are getting any smartphone in this price range. This is around 30,000 without the ads and bloatware. Yes, Samsung is there, but we know what Samsung is doing with OT updates. They are pushing out extra apps and stuff like that. So that way, I like it. So people who don't like those ads or extra apps or something, here again, no extra junkware or stuff. Again, all these apps, Netflix, Amazon, etc., I have installed it because I was using it as my personal phone. So that's what I like. And again, pure Android experience that you're getting. Left, you get the Google Pay. Very, very smooth to use. And again, yeah, that's also because of the Snapdragon 778. Very, very fluid. And guys, I was always using this smartphone in the this auto. I kept it, and I even used it 144 Hertz, and I never had an issue in terms of smoothness. It's very, very fluid, and you don't even have to keep it on 144 Hertz. Even when I right now it's on auto actually. It dynamically adjusts it, and you don't get that jankiness. So whenever you're scrolling stuff or anything, it's just smooth. I would say it's just smooth, I would say. So 144 Hertz works really well thanks to the Snapdragon 778 SoC on this one. Now let's talk about call quality, and I used it like this normally. I took a lot of calls, and I'm happy to say that the earpiece quality is really good on this smartphone, and even the network reception was fine. Good thing is that it also works with Wi-Fi calling, and that also works. So in terms of calling, I did not have an issue, and even no proximity sensor issue. Even I took a lot of long calls on this one. And again, as the phone is so light, even for those long calls, sometimes you have to take 30-35 minute ones. Your hand does not feel that fatigue because the phone is so light. So no issues in proximity sensor and all those things. In those areas, Motorola has nailed it, I would say. I didn't have a problem with that. But now moving to another thing is that good thing again, this one does support carrier aggregation, that is 4G plus that you get. Here Airtel, I got that. So carrier aggregation is there, and also we have NFC on this smartphone. That option is there. But one bummer is that I don't know why Motorola did this. There's only one speaker on this one. It's a single speaker smartphone. I don't know. They should have given dual speakers on this one. And add to the irony, it does not even have a 3.5mm headphone jack. So I feel that's a really idiotic, stupid bummer that Motorola has done with this. That is one thing that is annoying me on this smartphone. Okay, let's move to the next thing, and that is regarding 5G. Again, this is a proper 5G smartphone, guys. The Snapdragon 778 is a 5G chip, but the good thing is that this does support 11 bands of 5G. So whenever 5G comes, hopefully by next year in India, you don't have to worry about that one on this smartphone. So in terms of 5G, these Motorola guys are not skimping like some of the other brands do that. Anyways, moving to the next thing is this is a unique feature, and I think so I showed this in the unboxing video of these smartphones. This has that Motorola ready for functionality. For example, if you have a computer or even a TV, you can easily just invoke that and cast it around, and you can play around that. That's a very cool feature, I would say. So let's say you have some presentation, etc., you want to give, or family members are sitting, from your phone only you can easily cast it. In fact, you can even play games, etc., if your TV supports Miracast. So that's a unique feature that Motorola is now giving with this smartphone, and this is this can actually work fully wirelessly. You don't have to use a wire to do that. So that's a unique feature, I would say. Next thing that I like is regarding the battery life. Here I was very, very skeptical, and many of you have asked me about that on Twitter. How is the battery life? Because on paper, this one just has 4000 milliamp hour battery, and I was also very worried. But again, guys, overall, I would say in terms of battery life, I am actually not that worried. Let me actually show you the actual battery stats with this one. and I was getting anywhere about 4.5 to about 8.5 hours of SOT. For example, I saved it. It was at 10%, let's see, and 10%, as you can see, 6 hours, 29 minutes. So this is about 6.5 hours. This is the lowest that I got, and this was of the charges for 34 hours, so approximately 1.5 days. So let's move to this one. This was of the charges for just 21 hours, and I was at 4%. And here I got a screen on time of 8 hours 35 minutes. So battery life is not an issue. Again, 15%, 7 hours 54 minutes, as you can see. About 20 hours away from that. And I also got one OTA update, guys, so I had applied that. So battery life surprisingly is not an issue. It will get you a typical day screen on time anywhere from 6.5 to about 8.5 hours of SOT, which is actually pretty good considering how light the phone is and how just having a 4000 milliamp hour battery. So in terms of optimization, Motorola has done a very good job, and the Snapdragon 778 SoC is actually pretty good because in terms of battery life, even this Realme GT Master Edition, I got some pretty decent battery life. Okay, one thing that is annoying is Netflix. Yes, obviously it works, wideband L1 support is there, but for some reason even on this smartphone for Netflix, HDR is not enabled, though this smartphone supports HDR. The panel supports HDR. So I think so this is a problem with Netflix. Netflix, please get your act together. Why are you not enabling HDR plus on mid-range smartphones? Do you want a special license fee or something? I don't know, but the hardware it supports HDR, and on YouTube if you open HDR videos you can see it in HDR. Just want to be clear about that. The RAM management was very good on this smartphone. So in terms of RAM management, you don't have to worry. You get it with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and even apps that need to be in memory, for example Truecaller or my MyGate app, etc., were not booted out. So that way in terms of RAM management and regular stuff, I did not have a problem with this smartphone. That way they have tuned it well. Okay, now moving to one biggest con that I have with this smartphone, and that is regarding Wi-Fi reception. Don't get me wrong, it's not about raw Wi-Fi speeds. Let me actually give you an idea. Let's first run the speed test. It's connected to my Airtel fiber, and let's just run this. Raw speed is not a problem. Max I get is about 560 or something with high-end smartphone. So as you can see, in terms of raw speed, it's not a problem. I'm getting 530, 540, almost 538, so 536, almost 540 you could say. So in terms of what do you say, when I'm running speed test and stuff, it's not a problem. And I did not have a problem even connecting to my Wi-Fi router. This is on 5 gigahertz. I even connected on 2.4 gigahertz. That's not the problem. So speed is not a problem. But what is happening is many times, and I would say this is happening about 10 or 15% of the time. Whenever I'm watching YouTube videos or even Netflix, after some time, for YouTube videos, they are small, 6-7 minutes. After 7th or 8th video, every time, the video will just start buffering. You get that. And I was baffled. I'm on a 1 gigabit internet connection, so that's not an issue. So looks like there is some issue with the Wi-Fi antenna configuration. Maybe it's just going to the power saving mode, or that needs proper calibration, because it not only happened on YouTube to me, but even when I was watching some movies on Netflix, in the middle of the movie after 20-25 minutes, again that buffering thing or the resolution started dropping, which was very baffling because I test hundreds of devices. This hasn't happened to me in the past 2-3 years, and I double checked my network again. As you saw the speed test we did, it's perfectly fine. My network speeds are good, and even some other users also complained me on Twitter, etc., that Wi-Fi, they are facing an issue. So this is the biggest con that I have faced with this device. So it's not like the Wi-Fi does not work. It worked, as you can see, a speed test also, but the consistency, there is some issue, and I think so they need to calibrate it and fix this with the software update. That is the biggest con that I faced with this device while I was using this one. Okay, moving to the next thing is regarding the camera. Again, as you can see, we have the triple camera setup. The main is a 108 megapixel, then we have a 16 megapixel ultra wide, and we have a 8 megapixel, that's a 3x zoom. And here are some of the samples that I've taken with this one to give you a better idea. So some outdoor shots first. This is a regular shot. This is the 3x optical zoom, and this is the wide angle. The wide angle does a good job because it's a 16 megapixel. Again, regular 1x, and this is actually the 3x zoom. Now for some samples taken in completely artificial lighting, and it does a decent job, but there is some camera shake. I'll talk about that in the later part of the video. Now these were taken at night in low lighting conditions, and here I felt that this one did a lot better than the Edge 20 Fusion. So definitely the ISP is a lot better on this Moto Edge, and this was taken in normal mode, very low lighting, and here I invoked the night mode. So the night mode does make a difference. This shot also in very low lighting, and here I enabled the night mode, but there is a little bit of noise in the picture. With the front facing camera, when the lighting is good, it does a decent job, as you can see, but in the portrait mode there is that softness and slight blurriness, if you have noticed. So as you saw, the camera performance is okay, but I would say it's not that great. For example, the Samsung Galaxy A52 or even the Note 2, in terms of the camera performance, beat this one. And I feel that is all because of optimization, because if you saw some of the shots that I showed you, for example, as you can see here, some of the shots that I took indoor, these came out actually blurry. And I think so that is the problem with this one, is that if you just take a shot like this, because it's 108 megapixel sensor, it's downscaling to 12. It tries to take the shot immediately, but when you click it, whenever you click this, there is a slight, vibration, and it's catching that, and because of that, you're getting that vibration. When you can just go here and invoke the timer. You can invoke the timer, and now if you take it's a 10 second, you can go to 3 seconds. We can get some better shots. The sensor is okay, as you can see. So they need to work on the image processing and this shake that you are getting with the camera. So I think so this can be solved with the software update, but I feel they should have given a optical image OIS on the 108 megapixel main sensor. So I would say camera, yes, most of the outdoor shots were fine, but in indoor, in certain situations when I was taking close up, I noticed that blurriness. Yes, I could migrate it, as you can see with the samples, using a timer for 3 seconds, but I don't think so that's a practical solution. The camera is okay, but guys, yes, the camera is far better than the H20 Fusion, because some of the night samples, as you can see this one, I was surprised because the H20 Fusion also has this 108 megapixel, and that simply did not do that great in that night situation. This one did better because it has the Snapdragon 778 and it has the new ISP. So ISP is there. So now Motorola really needs to work on the software and some of the issues that I have mentioned. I don't know if they'll do it, but if they can work on that and improve it, then I feel the camera I can suggest the camera if your camera low. But as of now, I would say if camera is your highest priority, both the Note 2 and the Samsung Galaxy A52 have better camera than this one. A quick sample with the front facing camera, and the thing is that while video recording, actually it zooms in quite a bit. It's like this. If I just keep my arm like this, I have to really stretch like this, and I feel the camera rear facing, if I particularly go front facing camera, I'm like okay with it. The performance is decent, but the rear facing camera, though on paper the specs are really good, 108 megapixel, but where I feel Motorola is falling short is in terms of image processing. The hardware has the depth, and the ISP is also good, but the image processing, after processing, is a little bit weak with Motorola smartphones. That's where I feel the Samsungs and even the OnePlus actually go ahead. In fact, I would say in terms of rear facing camera, the Note 2 is better, but again, because of some of the blast issues of the Note 2, I can't remember. But yeah, definitely in terms of camera, I felt the rear facing camera on the Note 2 was better. So guys, that was my review of this Moto Edge 20 smartphone. Certainly a very good smartphone, gets a lot of things right. It's very light. In terms of call quality, it is really good. The screen quality is good. The fingerprint scanner is good. But again, that Wi-Fi issue is a bummer, and I hope Motorola actually addresses that with the next OTA update and also improves the camera performance. So I would say it's a pretty good smartphone, but again, it's not without its flaws. Again, guys, this was my review of this Moto Edge 20. Hope you liked it. Anyways, guys, if you're still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.